Now we're going to move on to the lovely cozy book nook. So you can see some fairy light situations here, which I've just wrapped fairy lights around a pumpkin garland that I got from TK Maxx. I also have a skull flower pot at the very top. I felt like it gave eco-gothic vibes, and I want to crochet or knit like some sort of viney plant to come out of it. I don't want to put a real plant in there because I'd never water it. So yeah, that's the eventual plan one day. But we're gonna go ahead. That's also another one of my cats. His name's Edgar. He's the youngest and he's currently sleeping. Yes, this is his chair just as much as it is mine, if not more so. And then, yeah, so this is what it looks like from this angle. I have my electric fire, which I can put the heating on, or I can just have it for the flames showing. So then down here we have more of these decorative bits as well. So I've got the spooky sign, a little gothic-y candle, and this little reading figurine, which I got off Etsy. I think it's really cute. And then when we move over to this side of the 4 unit, you can see how that is set up by having these books facing this way. So this is my Cornelia Funke, primarily Inkheart unit, but I do have the new book that is coming out in March, which I'm really excited to read this proof. So that's currently there as well. Then in this side, these are just some books I need to get to for research, so they're kind of just randomly thrown there. But then we have some other bits and bobs. I have some Forget-Me-Not original books that are rebound in fabric. This is the Frankenstein one I had customized. Lots of poetry down here, and then another brick set, which is the Hobbit doorway, which was unnecessarily complicated because it is not Lego, and therefore the quality of instructions is very poor. But I digress. Up here, more knickknacks. I'm a big fan of knickknacks. I've got this little mushroom that was made by Under the Willow Pottery again. I just think it's so cute. And then this little dragon, which is actually collectible. I got this in a charity shop in Edinburgh for just a couple pounds, and I just fell in love with it. But there's a marking at the bottom, and so when I looked it up, I discovered that it is something that is a collectible now and is over £50, but I will not sell it because it is the cutest thing. I have this rock that I found in one of the first weeks after moving to this house on the sea, and I just absolutely love it. It looks like a mosaic, and I've seen so many of these now since living here for a while, but none have ever looked this smooth and beautiful. So there's just something about it that I adore. I have my photo with Cornelia Funke from when I met her at a event last October. So that's just, oh, it makes me so happy that it's there. Another little candle, some more decorative Lego, and another one of the flowers that I made. Then we have my main bookshelf. So let me see if I can kind of get the scope of this in. Not really. Well, that's me. That's mostly, it's mostly all in view. So at the very top here, we have some larger books that just can't fit anywhere else, to be perfectly honest. And then these shelves are pretty much my collectible books. So some beautiful series. I've got the new Hunger Games. I've got another one of the Forget-Me-Not originals, which is up there. I've got my deluxe edition of Girl from the Other Side, some secondhand poetry, the painted editions, as well as some other collectibles like this Frankenstein 200-year anniversary edition. I also have my Sirius Black Wand from when I went to the studio in London almost a decade ago now. Then here we have my Folio Society shelf mainly. So these are all my Folio Society books up into this point, and including Wind in the Willows. And this is just like a fancy book that's called Canada that is really beautiful that I got from a market here where I live, and it is horribly problematic inside because it was written many years ago, but I got it for the outside aesthetics. And then these are some more of my nicer books, and this is one of the, it's like, what is it called? It's about the history of Earth, essentially, and I love the end pages, so I really wanted that to have the end pages being displayed. Then I have this little book nook that I'm working on, which has some light up features and such, but I've just kept it in here as I continue to build it. I've got a black amethyst crystal, a mini Squishmallow from when McDonald's was doing their Happy Meal toys not last Halloween, the Halloween before that. Some more Legos. So this is a Christmas present just this past Christmas from my sister-in-law. And this is a nano cherry blossom brick build that she brought back for me from Japan. And so this is just like a cute little setup with these little resin mushrooms as well. Then we have this shelf, which is mostly just hardback fantasy, and I actually really love the look of this shelf. There are some books such as Yellowface and Plain Bad Heroines where I've taken the dust jacket off because both of them are yellow and I really don't like yellow covers on books. But yeah, we've got a Frankenstein candle, a very camp Frankenstein. I love him, and it's scented as salted caramel. It's fantastic, and I will continue to keep the jar, obviously, after the candle is completely burned, but I haven't used the candle yet. I have this Lego minifigure, which I built a few years ago. I was going for Phantom of the Opera vibes, and yeah, I just love how he looks. Then I have this fossilized wood with mushroom carvings and some crystal carved mushrooms. Then in this side we have some more just knickknacks. So I've got this moss agate carved goddess body type figurine. I absolutely adore this. She's got lovely agate caves as well on her backside too. I don't know if you can see that, like she's got a very big cave on her booty, and I love how it looks. I research ecofeminism, and when I saw this piece I was just like, this is perfect. So I love her. Then I have this crystallized or agatized sea urchin, which I purchased. I am a big fan of fossils, and I just love that. Then we have these dried flowers, which were from a local Scottish florist that my husband gave me years ago. This is the thing that I love about dried flowers, if they last forever. There's some of these that are looking worse for wear because my cats have gotten at them a few times, but still doing ultimately well. And this is a little vase that I purchased that's handmade when I went to Oban a couple years ago. And then I just have this shell, which I can't remember if I actually found this here where I live now or previously in one of my homes when I lived by the coast, but I don't pick up shells anymore because unless they're destroyed or broken or have big holes in them, because these are homes for sea creatures, and the more that we pick them up the less that they have. So I don't pick up shells anymore like that, but the ones that I do already have, like this one, I have kept. It's also just such a weird shaping, this one, like it's so long, but yeah, so that lives there too. Then oh, and I forgot to mention that there's another Squishmallow here. Then in this shelf, this is just double stacked fiction paperback, loads of variety here, and this little Squishmallow, which is what made me go on a hunt and eat loads of McDonald's, because I have a actual big Squishmallow that looks like this one here, and I call it Dracul, and so this is Dracul Jr. And I just really wanted to get this guy. So yeah, I had to eat a lot of vegetarian like croquette finger things for Happy Meals to finally get this little dude, but I'm glad that I persisted. Then in this shelf we have various hardbacks, and this is not double stacked because I use this space quite often when I'm sat at my chair and just like reading. So there's like my e-readers here and some various books that I'm reading. Then in this corner I have my Jane Goodall Lego that my husband got me for this past Christmas. It was a retired, it's not a retired set, kind of technically, but it was a gift with purchase set a few years ago. So he actually found it secondhand, and it had never been opened, and yeah, was able to have that. So I absolutely love Jane Goodall. I don't know if this is the best placement for her, but for now it works because it's the only place that I have. And then next to the Lego, I have what I call my Reputation pumpkin. So I got this back in October, maybe it was like September, October. It was several months after I had seen the Eras tour in Edinburgh, and as soon as I saw this pumpkin, I was like, this is Reputation coded, so I had to have it. And it just exists here and I love it. And then at the very bottom here we have my children's books, as well as some YA over on this side over here. In the very back here we have my Harry Potter books, which I don't want to get rid of, but I also don't want to have on display, so they're back there. And then I have also the Edge Chronicles, which definitely should, I would love to have displayed. Edge Chronicles is such an amazing children's series and I love it, but also I needed to double stack because I was running out of room. This is one of my book covers as well from Paper and Word, and it is their paperback version or size. Then over here we have a small shelf. So at the very top I've got my bookmarks. I've got this lovely Gothic candle that my sister-in-law gave me, I think for her birthday a few years ago, but it's too beautiful to burn, so it's never going to get burned. And then I have my editions that I can't remember the exact title of these editions, but they're stunning. I just have them displayed as artwork, and it's Frankenstein and Dracula. I have a rose up here as well, a dried rose, and then I have a nano brick build of the Starry Night, as well as my Van Gogh minifigure and his little Starry Night palette. But the minifigure and the palette are in fact Lego pieces because they're part of the Starry Night Lego set, which I'm building. But because I want to actually display that on like a wall, I figured this was the best place for them to exist here. This is a light of sorts. I got pulled in from a Facebook ad and it looks stained glass, but the batteries don't last very long, and also the batteries at the very bottom, so it never gets turned on. But it's nice to have on display. I have this knitted reed sign, which I got locally here in the Highlands by a local crafter, and I just love how that looks. And another candle from the same sister-in-law. This one I do want to burn though, because I think it'll look really cool with it actually having some drip down it. And also displayed here, I have a York Merchant Ghost. I collect these and they're very popular, and this one just is like really cool, and I thought it fit the vibe of this area really well. I also have here displayed the fossils that I have found in the last 6 months here where I live. So the one that has these two here that are like the same, this was actually one that I found like as a rock. And I thought, I think maybe there could be a fossil in here. And when I cracked it open, sure enough, there was. And this is like a over 300 million year old fish, which is really wild and really cool. And took a while to identify, but yeah, it was just such a amazing find for my first fossil. And then this, I only found this week, and I've always wanted to find an ammonite. I've been searching for years, and I went to go for a seaside stroll the other day. I was feeling quite anxious before a supervisory meeting, and lo and behold, within like a couple steps of being on the beach, there she was, and she's stunning. Absolutely a perfect specimen, and also agatized as well, so it means like when you put a light under it, you can see through, and if I sliced this open, all the bands would have crystals essentially within them, but I will not be slicing this open. I just love how it looks. And so yes, that's where they're displayed. In terms of the books, these are just various collections. So I have a lot of vintage classic collections here, as well as my Fitzcarraldo. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I also have my Frankenstein pop figure right there. He also glows in the dark, and he's just super cute, and I love him so much with his little daisy. Then we have some cli-fi books in this shelf here. Then we have more like moving into gothic and horror hardbacks, and then I have more children's books down here, as well as all my V.E. Schwab books, which technically encompasses children's books, YA, and also adult, but I like to keep them all together, so that's where they exist. I also have some bits and pieces here, like my Frankenstein comic book that a friend gifted me after graduating from my master's. I also have a children's book that is also Mary Shelley Frankenstein. Then I have some other children's books here, like this is The Sister and Who Ate Her Brothers. That's a collection by Jen Campbell here on YouTube. And so that's where they all live, because there's nowhere on the bookshelves for them to fit. Then I have this little side table, which this took me forever to find. I got it from TK Maxx, and I'm so glad I could find something that I really had my mind set on something small, because I just wanted something where I could put my drink and have a lamp on. And I just love the style of this. It's just a bit of fun. It reminds me of a daisy, and yeah, I love it. This lamp shade I got from, I think it was like the second ever witch market in Edinburgh. It's from a local crafter, and I get so many compliments on this lampshade. I absolutely adore it. It's just perfect. And this coaster as well, this glass coaster here, you can see it's got these fish, and they're quite shiny as well inside. And this was made by a local crafter as well where I live. I got this at one of our craft markets, and I just absolutely adore it. Then we move on to the chair. So this chair I actually got for free. Somebody in my vicinity was giving it away, and I had been looking at the IKEA chairs that you see so many in like Book Nooks and stuff. But then this popped up, and I thought it had so much more character, and I loved it. So thankfully I was able to go and pick it up, and it didn't cost me a penny. So that was fantastic. It does have some stains on the side though as a result, but I don't mind. I tend to take the blanket off and put it there anyways when I'm sat here, so it's fine. This little book pillow I got from Dunelm, and then this is a little knockoff squishmallow that my husband got me for a birthday or Christmas at some point, and it's just this little bat, and it's very cute, and that's my cat Edgar, who's snoozing. Then I have my pumpkin blanket, which was also from TK Maxx, and I have it out all the time. As you can tell, autumn is a big interest of mine, so it's autumn vibes all year round for my book nook. Then, keeping with said autumn vibes, we have this corner, which I have the dried floral Lego set, and I have that mounted on the wall, which is beautiful. I also have this sun catcher here. This is my gothic bookshelf, is what I call it. We've got some knickknacks. Of course, again, on the top, we have a York Merchant Ghost, my wax melt, the Lego Witch, which is a 3-in-1, so it's the witch, dragon, and cat. So you could take apart the witch and turn her into a dragon or a cat, whatever you want. But I like the witch the most. Then I have this lovely little Pride and Prejudice quote, which I won in a giveaway. I think it was the first giveaway I've ever won in my life, and I used it as decor in my wedding as well, which there's a photo of me and my husband at our wedding with one of the roses that I made. And then I have a little Jack Skellington figurine with a little zero that is carved out of opal. And then I have a haunted house snow globe, which is not really a snow globe, but you know the vibes. I got that from TK Maxx a couple years ago. I love it, and it has music and everything, but it's just, I am a sucker for a snow globe, so I love how this one looks. And then another York Ghost Merchant, which this one's my favorite. It's supposed to resemble like a stormy sea, and I love that. Then as for the books, we have the top shelf, which is my British Library Tales of the Weird, as well as this shadow box of Nosferatu that I got at the Edinburgh Witch Market as well. When I got the lampshade, Nosferatu is one of my favorite films, like the original, and so I love that. We have various collections down here in terms of Gothic novels, as well as some hardbacks and some more Penguin editions on the very end here as well. At the very top here, we have, of course, knickknacks. So first of all, I have this beautiful painting. This is a local artist who did this, and it is an original painting that I got from a secondhand shop, and I just love the colors of this, and it just fits the space perfectly. Then down here I have a retired owl Lego set, a kingfisher Lego set that my in-laws gave me last Christmas. Photo of my family from our last get together before I moved abroad. And then over here I have this Literary Witches Oracle set that a friend gave me. I don't really use them. They're just there for looks. I suppose I could put something else here to have displayed and then actually use those more often, but for now they're just displayed. And I accidentally ordered 2 sets of those resin mushrooms when I did, so they're kind of hiding throughout this shelf as well. I've got some crystals. I've got this rock that I found on the beach where I live that has some pyrite in it, which was really cool. I've got this healing rune that one of my friends from my master's cohort gave me, so that stays there. I also have another ghosty, and this one was one of their Christmas editions, and I just love the accent of the ghost. Like, it's simple but it's beautiful. And then I have another nano brick build, which is the infamous painting of the like Japanese wave, and yeah, I just love having those displayed. And then I have the wildflower Lego set, which just adds some extra color to the space as well. As for the bookshelves themselves, the books inside, these are all books that I have not read yet and I want to get to, other than Pride and Prometheus, which I have read. Then we have some more down here, which is just books I want to get to, although I read Silence of the Girls, but that's the only one out of there. Oh no, and I did read The Black Prism, but besides that, all the other ones I haven't read, and I've kept those on the shelf because they're part of like series, so I just like keeping those things together. Then down here we have some of the, I think it's the is it the Great Writers Library or something like that? Anyways, all of these somebody gave me for free from where I lived previously, and they're stunning. There's so many fantastic titles here, and I just love how they look. And them being down here also means that they're more protected from sunlight, which is somewhat of a bigger issue as well. Like, these definitely up here definitely get impacted by the sun, but these ones tend to be okay. And the very bottom here is my nonfiction, as well as some short story type collections, but mostly it's nonfiction. And just in terms of the knickknacks here, I've got another little tiny mini Squishmallow. I've got a wooden vase here, which was locally crafted, and I've just popped in this little autumnal piece, which I'm pretty sure I got from TK Maxx. And there's another little felt pumpkin down there from Hobbycraft. And then of course we have the maple leaf fairy lights that go all the way around, although the batteries are currently dead, so that's why they're not showing anything. But yes, that is my book nook. And then to the left side here, I do have a cupboard, which I'll kind of just briefly show. So I've got my walking pad in here. I do have some more books at the top, as well as a doll from when I was a child. I've got my bags. I've got all of my crystals on this little stand that I just don't have any space for to display at the minute. So I'm hoping that they can exist elsewhere. And then I've got extra storage space here that has books that I am probably going to be giving away. And then at the very end of this tour is my Taylor Swift Lego, which is finally on display. And this was created from a retired Batman set. And then I purchased the instructions to build this particular Midnight's album design, and I love it. I love it so much. Definitely my favorite Lego build. And then just down here I have the Starry Night Lego that I'm currently building. This needs to go up in the loft, but yeah, I've just kept that down there rather than over in the craft area, just because it was making it quite tight to exit for the cats. And then I guess the very last piece of my office space is actually my doorstop. So the floor is really weirdly angled, so the door doesn't will not just stay like partly open, it'll go all the way open. So this doorstop is actually a rock that I found on the beach here where I live locally. And it has, again, all these like lovely pyrite sparkly bits throughout. So it makes the perfect doorstop. So there you have it. I'll give you one more good look at how she looks. But there we are. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything particular that you would like to know more about in regards to my space, please let me know and I will be happy to at least attempt to answer. But a lot of these pieces I've had for multiple years now, and so I don't know necessarily where I got everything, but I hope that was an enjoyable video for you all, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!